Okay, this knot is a figure 8 loop. This is the knot we're going to tie to the end of like a hauling rope. This is the end that goes down to the ground from the stack. And it would be used to clip maybe a couple lanyards on. A lanyard is like a maybe 3 or 4 foot section of rope with a carabiner on each end. Those carabiners would be held to that lanyard rope with figure 8 loops as well. So this is a great knot. It's easy to untie, easier than some knots, I should say. It can cinch down a bit, but it's really a nice knot because it has some ability to be untied by working the bar back and forth. I'll show you that in a second. But simple knot, figure 8 loop. I'll start with just a figure 8 so you can see what that looks like. So this is the running end of the rope. For a figure 8, it looks just like it says. It looks like a figure 8. Figure 8 loop is the same idea, except we're going to double this up. So I've got my running end maybe a couple feet from this. This is what we call a bite of the rope. It's not a loop. This is a loop. This is a bite. So we're making a bite of the rope. We're going to make a figure 8 with the bite, just like we did a second ago. And the catch here is to make sure this knot is what we call dressed. We want it without crossing itself over. We want a nice, neat looking knot. And that's gonna help it to be untied later on. So you can kind of see how this rope isn't crossing itself unnecessarily. It's a nice, neat, clean knot, what we call dressed. And we're gonna finish this off with an overhand. I might do a barrel knot on this one just because there's a little extra running end. So a barrel knot is basically a double overhand. We're gonna make a loop, make one more loop, and then take that running end and go through it and tighten it away from the knot, just like you would an overhand. So that's a barrel knot, and the reason I tie that is just to manage the slack a little bit. So again, this is a figure 8 loop with a barrel knot or an overhand safety. So to untie this knot, if this is handling a lot of weight, like a meter box, a pump or something like that, it's gonna cinch down a bit. So this is what I'm talking about. This right here is what we're calling a breaker bar. And even when it's really cinched down, you can, with a little effort, break that nice and loose, and then move these. You start moving these, working these bars back and forth, and then this bite will come out eventually. Doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It can take some though, and that is the figure 8 loop.